Hi, I'm Jason and welcome back to part 2. As I mentioned in the introduction, we'll be learning the Linux command line and all the wonderful things that we can do with it. We'll eventually get to the 3 L's. Learn Linux, Live Linux and Love Linux. And at the very end of the course, for all of you who are interested and have subscribed, I will give you free access to my Linux course that will give you videos, documentation examples, practice labs, etc. So let's kick this session off with an overview of the CLI or command line interface. As I also mentioned in the previous video, we can use the command line interface to achieve tasks faster than using the GUI or the graphical user interface for many things. So this is why it's worth learning. So let's start by breaking down two fundamental terminologies which I'm sure you've heard of before. The first one is the shell. This is what I refer to as the command line interface, or CLI for short. And the other thing is the terminal. Now, going back to the shell is a program that takes commands from the keyboard to tell the operating system what to do. And the tool that we use to accomplish this is the terminal. The terminal is another program which gives us a window into the shell that lets us communicate commands through our keyboard. So on my version of Linux here, which is Mint by the way, I can open up a terminal by clicking on here, or I can search for it in my start bar. There it is. I can also type in the search window, terminal, and there it is. And if I really am stuck and have no idea where the terminal is, all I can simply do is press Control, Alt, and T, and it will bring me the terminal. So here we are, we made it into the terminal, but where are we? Well, I can see my name here, so this is the user. It's me, and I'm at Dell Mint, which is the name of my computer. Obviously yours is going to look different. But what's the tilde sign and what's the dollar sign straight after that? Well, the tilde indicates that I'm in the home directory of the user. The dollar sign indicates that I'm a standard user. Nothing fancy, not enough power to rule the world, just a normal user account. We'll learn more about user accounts later. To see this in graphical terms, we can open up our home folder on the desktop here. We just position these side by side. So we can see here is my user, and here are all the folders that sit within my user's home folder. Okay, that's nice and simple from the graphical side, Jace, but why doesn't the terminal give me more of an idea where I am? Well, here's your first command, pwd, which stands for Print Working Directory. Let's try it out and press enter. So here it tells me that I'm in the /home/Jason directory. In fact, it gives me the complete path from the root directory to where I am. So let me go back to the graphical side and I'll demonstrate this. If I, instead of opening my home folder, if I went into computer and I went into my actual file system, we're in the root here. We can see the slash at the top here, which indicates we're in root. If I were to navigate to home and Jason, we get back to the same place. Well, again, that's nice, Jace, from the graphical point of view, but how do I see these folders in my command line? Well, here is your second command of this session, ls, which stands for list. So let's try it. ls and press enter. Here we can now see what the listing of this directory is. I'm going to leave you with one more command before we wrap up here, and that is the man command, which stands for manual, which is probably one of the most important commands you'll ever need. We use it to find out what we can do with all the commands Linux has to offer. So as an example, if I wanted to know more about what I could do with the ls command, I can type man space ls and press enter. So here we can see that ls is used to list the directory contents. And if I scroll down, we can see that there are many flags that we can assign to the ls command, which enable us to do more things with it. So for example, here we can see the -H flag that will print human readable sizes in kilobytes, megabytes and gigabytes, and also the -L flag, which will give us a long listing. And when we're finished with man, we can simply press Q to quit or exit, and it returns us back to our shell prompt. So let's just try the ls with those two flags that I mentioned. So again, ls space -L, which was the long list if you remember, and then space and then H for the human readable format. So now it starts to give us more information than what we actually see on the graphical user interface. It tells us the file size of each folder, who owns it, the rights to it, which we will go over in another session. But basically, by combining some of the flags, we can get a lot more information. In fact, I could have made that command line a lot simpler by typing ls space -L and H. And that will use both the LH flags in one go. So in the next tutorial, we'll be utilizing the ls command further, as well as learning how to navigate around the system. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.